Hello, Hosk here, and welcome to another video of Hosk CRM Dev. Today, this episode, we're going to look at exporting your solution and changes from your CRM 2013 trial. Because if you're like me, my trial has now come to an end. You'll get other emails, but you'll get this particular email which will say your trial has expired, and you'll think, oh dearie me, I better do something drastic here, because otherwise all the changes that I've made will be lost forever. So you could purchase a subscription, but I'm not really interested in that. In fact, you can this actually ended yesterday. What can happen is that often the trial, those 30 days, they'll often just let it sort of slide on for another 30 days without sort of getting rid of it. Although I guess they may just take it off. You know, it was really only 30 days, so if they decide to, it could disappear at any minute. So what we need to consider here is how we are going to save our customizations into a solution, so we can import those into another trial or another CRM 2000 development. We need to get them out of there because they will soon be gone forever. So first we'll have a look at what's in my solution. Obviously the managed solutions we're not worried about, because we've already got those files ready to import again. I've got mine. No, that's not it. Somewhere. Okay, so I found them lurking. So I've got my these solutions, and I can always download them again anyway. So it doesn't matter if they disappear. But obviously the changes that I've made. We go to my Hosk solution. So these changes are, user is not important, but I created a workflow in one of the videos, and I've got my plugin, and I've got a custom entity. And actually I did add also a web resource, but there, because it's got new in there, you can see that I did it directly on the default solution, so it didn't take my Hosk publisher solution, so that's a new, which is one of the changes that happen. Anyway, so these will soon be gone and deleted forever. Also, actually, whilst we're here, I should think about that when you have solutions and you are exporting them, exporting an unmanaged solution is a good way to kind of keep a backup of your customizations. It won't bring any of the data, but it will bring those customizations and allow you to import them into other organizations, or this organization again. It will sort of allow you to roll back the components to that particular snapshot. It's also probably a good policy, I think, if you're exporting managed solutions, is to keep a separate copy of all the managed solutions that you're exporting, because you may need to sort of roll back to that particular level, particular kind of version snapshot of those components. So we're just going to run through here. So you'd go into your solution, you'd add all the values. Now the plugin is an interesting thing because it's the kind of compiled DLL. So although you can export that inside a solution, that is not as important, because you've got this because we've got our Visual Studio project, we can easily make that plugin again. We've got the code. We could connect. We could change the tool to point to another CRM server. It's got the register file, and then it would basically push that up into the new organization. So the plugin solution is not as critical as the other things. But so, and you've got your version number here, so I might add another version, because I think I've exported this once before, and I'll just give it a date. My first I often leave myself little notes here of things that have happened, so I can just look back and see what's in there. This is quite useful if you're doing like production environment to get these things. So you can check there. You can take the I know it's got user in because my plugin used the user. My plugin used the user record, system user, to do a query, so it's a kind of dependency upon that. So you go here, you go to export solution, publish all the customizations if you wish. I haven't got any other changes which haven't been published. Now it says here that these are all required components. Now these must be in the target system, otherwise your solution won't be able to be imported. Now I know that all these are going to exist in the target system because it's going to be another 2013 trial. I don't have to worry. I haven't really got any of these system settings. These are settings found inside like the admin area, system settings, but I haven't got any of those. I haven't changed any of those. It doesn't matter. So here you can now choose whether it's unmanaged or managed. Now I want an unmanaged one because I want to be able to import it into a new target CRM system, and I want to be able to edit those changes. If you chose managed, you'd import it, but you wouldn't be able to change them, and then if your current trial expired, you would lose those. You would lose the ability to export it to an unmanaged solution, and then you're kind of stuck. You'd have your changes, you couldn't change them, and that's not what we really want. So choose managed, unmanaged. I want to be able to sort of edit. I view managed and unmanaged as unmanaged as editable, managed as read only. But you know, if you weren't sure, what you could do is export them one after another, and then you'd have both there just in case that you kind of needed a managed. It takes a little bit of time. So now that has gone. Let's just have a little look at this. So you can see here that you get your plugin assembly. That is here. Now you can use a tool to sort of unpackage that. Web resource. So there's my JavaScript. And I've got a workflow, and that's saved there. These are the default values there. So you've got your solution. Now I'm safe. That's all safe now. So I know that if my trial expires anytime soon, it's all right. I can just import this new solution into the next trial, and I'll keep all those changes. Now, one thing you might want to consider at this point is the data. Now, if you've changed the data, you've added perhaps new accounts, newer contacts, or you know, there could be a number of things. Quotes. I want good faithful accounts. So you can see here I've added a few couple of accounts, and there's a contact. Now if you wanted to keep this data, what you need to do is export them in an advanced find. Now this of course means that you have to go to a page to somewhere. I do not understand why they've made advanced finds hard to find. I mean, they're just one of the most useful tools. So why do they only appear in very random pages? That is a query indeed. So you go to advanced find, you'd select, I mean, depending on what you've sort of changed, but you could just select all of them, although the ones that you don't want are created on, modified on, modified. You could keep modified on, that's okay, but it's modified by, anything with a kind of user lookup, created by, so you do that, and then you would just do a select all the accounts. Now obviously I'm not sure whether we'd need all the accounts, maybe just the ones that we've changed, but we'll just go through it anyway. You go through all the accounts, get all the data, you know, if there are fields you've changed or you don't worry about, and then you export it. Now we don't want to make the data available for re-importing, because we'll be importing it into a new system, and so those GUIDs won't, what that means is it puts the GUID value inside the Excel export, and if you then import it back into the system, it finds the GUID and updates the records. But because we'd be going to a new system, those GUIDs wouldn't make any sense because the data doesn't exist in the system, so we don't need that clicked. And then you'd have now an export of the accounts. You'd do the same for contacts, and any other data you've created, and in those you can import them in. I mean, I actually haven't got any data here, so I'm not concerned about that. Right, so that's just an important little point. I wanted you all to consider that when you get these warnings, you need to export your solutions, your changes, especially entities and JavaScript, because although you can have JavaScript in the toolkit, developer toolkit, and you'll have it somewhere probably offline as well. It's not too bad, but the entities and fields and those changes they'll be lost, so you need to export them.